Hey Internet, Eric here. Slashback Saturday today. If you're new to my channel or the concept, Slashback is it's a concept my buddy Joe over at the Horror Man YouTube channel created. What it is every Saturday there's a specific theme for a slasher film, and what you're supposed to do is if you choose to participate, I do it as much as I can with my schedule. Um, Whatever that theme is, you have to pick a slasher movie and that fits the theme and discuss it. It's that simple. The only requirements is it has to be a slasher film. Now, this week's subject or category, since it was Thanksgiving, he said it was called leftover slashers. And the only requirement is you can discuss a horror film, not a horror film, a slasher film that's left over from a previous category. And I had no idea what I could do. It's been a while since I've been able to do these, and he ran off, a couple of examples, and I decided, what the hell? Let's go back to camp and do camp slashers, so I can continue on with. This is the third entry in this series, and I've done all three of them for Joe's Slashback. Sleepaway Camp 3 was this Teenage Wasteland. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, all that jazz. Now, this came out, now here's the thing. According to Scream Factory, this came out in 1988. I think it's because it was filmed like right after Part 2. But according to IMDb and Wikipedia, it came out in 1989. I'll probably just put 1989 because that's what everything else says. Anyways, plot of this is we're following Angela again. She's now back at the same camp from Part 2, now under a new name, new ownership, and the owners of this version of the camp are opening it up to two groups of teens, some from the good part of town, all around the United States, basically the rich kids, and then the poor kids or the kids from like urban areas and stuff like that. Angela is caught in the middle, kills a bunch of people, hilarity ensues, blah blah blah. We've seen this stuff before. First off, Pamela Springsteen is back as Angela. Still love her in this series. She's still killing people who she deems morally wrong. Fornicators, drug dealers, drug users, stuff like that. Killing them in interesting ways. What I like about her in this one though, she, dealing with a lot of these not counselors, campers. In this film, she definitely shows a lot more frustration when the campers are just being assholes to her, and it was really cool seeing her in Part 2. She's this bubbly, happy-go-lucky serial killer. But this is great. There's scenes where she remembers the times when she was happy-go-lucky in Part 2 when she's singing the camp theme song. But I love when she shows her frustration here, when she has to go and fish and the female camp owner is eating a steak and she gets pissed off, or when she has to go yell at there's so many stereotypes in this movie, the black kid from Detroit who listens to a boombox the whole time. When she asks him to, I think, either clean the fish or take out the trash or something like that, and he just turns up the boombox to ignore her, and just she gets pissed off, and it's really cool seeing Angela pissed off and the way Pamela does it. The other characters, like I said, a lot of them are stereotypes. You got the rich kids. One rich kid is so rich and incredibly racist. She always throws out racist terms. She hates one. She doesn't think highly of one of the lower class people because he's Mexican or Spanish. I don't know if he's Puerto Rican, but that's one of her biggest dislikes for him. And then you got the urban kids or whatever you would call them. You have one who, of course, is Spanish, so of course he's walking around with the bandana around his neck because he was a former gang member. The black kid from Detroit has to have a boombox and a switchblade on him all the time. So you have the stereotypes, but a lot of the actors and actresses do really well playing said stereotype. I mean, you don't have the black guy's not talking jive or anything like that, but he does a really good job of being tough, being a street kid, and I like when he gets in a fight with the Spanish kid. You know, the fight looks really real. The punches look really choreographed, thrown, um, and this, it's not politically correct. They throw a couple of, homophobic slurs out there. I don't know if they throw the N word out there, but they do throw a couple of derogatory, Latino terms and stuff like that. It's really weird going back to the 80s and seeing how movies were compared to how politically correct and eggshell walking that we are nowadays. But I don't want to say a lot of these characters were likable, but you didn't hate them because their acting was so bad. I didn't mind, like, a lot of the urban kids. The rich kids weren't that memorable, other than the one racist, and then you had like the one football player who was just kind of a not really a dumb jock, but like simple-minded, maybe. So didn't mind the characters, except for the camp owners. Yes, the female, the wife, she's just a snobby bitch. But then we had to have the her husband. Now, her husband I recognized from Scrooged. He's one of the homeless people. He's the one that actually freezes in the sewer. And he's also Captain Spaulding's buddy in the very beginning of House of a Thousand Corpses during the holdup, the old man. He, of course, we're back to Sleepaway Camp 1 when it comes to, camp counselors or people working at the camp that want to bang the campers. He is perverted, like obnoxiously perverted. He ends up banging a blonde, and he first introduces himself, and whenever he has this thing where he walks around her, looks directly at her, like grabs his belt and kind of shimmies it up and down. He's got like a Playboy bunny on it, like he's just doing his best to, like, hey baby, look at my dick type of thing. And then of course, if you want to see that guy, the homeless guy from Scrooge making out with a chick, this is the movie for you. So we're back to like the disgusting, I want to have sex with all the campers type of owners. But at least, he gets dispatched really quick. So he's good at what he does at being fucking disgusting. The gore, however, I think this one must have been, like, no pun intended, cut up by the MPAA, because a lot of the kills are cut away. I mean, some of them are pretty creative. A kid gets a firecracker up the nose and his head explodes off screen. You have a decapitation off screen. What else? You have one kill I really, really liked was I think it was the rich racist girl. She was tied up, blindfolded, and she was like raised up a flagpole by Angela, and then it just dropped from the incredible height. It looked really good. The overhead camera shot was good, and then right before she hit, it cuts away, so you don't see any splat, but you hear a. So that made up for the lack of gore. So we don't really have a lot of gore. It's more after the fact here. Like, we see the decapitated head, but we don't see the actual, slice. There's a couple impalements here, which are good. I'm really interested in this. I finally got the Scream Factory version, the Blu-ray. And it says here, there is deleted gore footage. And I watched a little bit of it after I watched this initially. And it's the entire movie in shitty VHS quality, but I'm assuming it's like the work print. So we'll see what gore is intact, but that's the main problem of this film, is the lack of on-screen gore. And I think that it must have something to do with the MPAA. But other than that, I mean, there's like one really goofy kill. Someone's buried in the ground and her head's run over by a lawnmower. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. But overall, the kills are interesting. They're not overly stupid, other than the fucking lawnmower thing. And I really like that dropping her from the flagpole kill. And we actually get a couple gunshot wounds that are really good. One of the other counselors in this film is the father of one of the kids killed in part 2. I don't remember him by name, but I guess it was a decapitation kill. It's been a while. And I really liked him. He made a good bond with the campers he had to take care of. And just whenever he had to talk shit about Angela, you could tell this actor was doing really good trying to be the coping father, as you would say. Speaking of weird shit, like, the lawnmower kill, there's one kill, just the way this movie starts. I mean, part 2 was pretty goofy and schlocky to begin with. But when the opening scene is one of the bad girls, you can tell she's bad because she gets naked right away. She's yelling and screaming at her parents. Um, she's got she gets naked and she's got tattoos over her boobs. One says milk and one says, I don't know what the other one says, like milk service or something like that. It's really weird. Anyways, she is on her way to camp, like the bus stop, and just out of nowhere, as she's walking across the street, she's chased by this big rig, like in the middle, broad daylight. Of course, it's driven by Angela. It goes down like the sidewalk or down an alley and nails her, runs her over. Angela disposes of the body, puts her in the trash compactor, and sucks her up. And then she takes her persona. That's why she's got this goofy fucking wig on it. It's just a really weird and absurd beginning and opening kill. It sets the tone of how goofy and stupid this is going to be. But it was just a little, it was a really interesting and big time like what the fuck moment. But then we have the usual opening credits with the rock and roll music. So good and bad, I guess you would say. Anything else? Like there's nothing really like special about this one. I mean, because like I said, the kills are so chopped up. But I like how Angela gives the not counselors. I keep saying counselors. The campers, the final campers, a chance to escape, and she abides by it. And then, of course, it doesn't go as well as everyone thought, but she actually abides by what she said she's going to do, and that was cool. So that was a cool little addition to her character. Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland. Oh yeah, and then of course they there's a scene where I think she's either handcuffed or tied to I think the dumb jock, because you have to. It's a trusting exercise. You have to trust your partner, and he comes on to her and tries to have his, like seriously like hold her down and have his advantage, take his advantages of her. Like I don't know if he's going to rape her, but he's at least gonna throw her down, like make out with her. I'm like, again, it's like the Silent Night Deadly Night series. We just have to have like that man force himself on a woman stuff just because it's the 80s. So that was dumb. He got a cool comeuppance, but again, MPAA, no gore. Overall, finished product, not work print because I haven't watched it yet. Sleepaway Camp 3, still better than the original because I like the schlocky stuff about it. I enjoy Pamela Springsteen's performance. Makes Angela a more, I don't want to say well-rounded character than Felicia Rose did, because she doesn't really do anything in the original movie. Cheesy, goofy, schlocky, rock music, lots of fun. Don't enjoy it as much as part 2, but I do think Sleepaway Camp 3, if you liked part 2, you'll really enjoy part 3. Highly recommend it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Go check out Joe's channel, The Horror Man. Participate in his Slashback Saturday stuff. Lots of fun. I wish I could do it more when my schedule allows it, but when I do participate, I always have a lot of fun trying to figure out what type of slasher movies would fit in said category. So check out his channel. Give him a sub. Give him a like. Watch his stuff. Tell him I sent you. All that jazz. Thank you for watching. Click the bell. All that stuff. Comment below. Tell me what you think of this. Tell me if you've seen the work print edition or whatever, and how good the gore is. Don't know what else to say. I've rambled or not. See? I've said enough. Cheers.